Hello, everyone. This is Sean from Barry Digital Media, and I hope you are doing well. And today I'm taking a look at networking. Networking is one of those terms that can off put a lot of people because it is a very challenging skill and activity to do, especially when you're putting so much on the line or you are looking for that job, looking for that investor, looking for that relationship. There's so much riding on the line, and I think we all know that already. Or let me say that there's a lot of content already there that is focusing on how to improve your networking skills. So I really wanted to take a look at networking in a different kind of way. And I'm going to do that in two different ways. First, just with a visual representation of networking that had come to mind earlier. And that's simply with fabric. Fabric, it's interesting the way that all the different fabric can weave together. And that is a lot like networking. When you have one of these strands here represented as a person and then intersecting with another person, you're building that structure for a relationship. And the more times that you do it, then you get a more impressive and more sophisticated network. You start with one person, you put them in the right spot, and then you find another person, and then put them in the right order. Then all of a sudden, you can have all these different fabrics start to weave together, and you can make all sorts of things: shirts, baskets, boating equipment, strings, all sorts of different things. And the more sophisticated that you get, the more impressive that it is. So you can take that concept or you can take that concept and relate it to like a business. And the more complicated and sophisticated that network is, the more impressive that network of relationship is, just like when you're working with fabric. In a more simplistic design, if I just take a look at this, this shows those relationships a little bit better. You can see that there's this one string, but that one string is being layered by several other strings as well. And when you do that, then you can make all sorts of fascinating designs, and then also you can, make it stronger if you do this design just right, or if you do it in a special kind of way. Like even here, we see that we have that cross patching, but there's all these different loops in between. So I imagine that this is either stronger or more beautiful once it's produced. And then, yeah, the same idea. So, anyways, the second way that I wanted to take a look at this was not so much just as something that you network specifically because you have an objective, but I wanted to take a look at it as like an interpersonal, something, the deeper exploration when you are going out to network, and you're not necessarily just looking for that new job or that new relationship. What's going on deeper, because networking is a form of exploration. That form of exploration, it's both an exploration of self, and then it's also an exploration of the people that you're working with, that you're meeting, and it's a very scary thing. You meet these people with their own goals and their own initiatives, and you never quite know what you might expect. And that, I think, that's why this screen here really resonated with me. Networking is crazy. You can literally change your entire life by meeting the right people, which is absolutely true. You walk into one door and you might meet Elon Musk, or you walk into another door and you might meet, I don't know, Taylor Swift. The the odds are pretty crazy. But at the same time, you do have to have your wits about you because everybody does have their own goals. So you want to know what your goals are first. You know, if you're looking to build that new product, you want to define what kind of investor you're looking for. And then if the conversation's not going in the way of an investor, then it's probably a conversation that you don't want to look or you don't want to spend too much time on. But I mean, you have to, I mean, a mentorship could come out of it, but it's just something that you constantly have to just figure out as you meet these different people. So a good question might come is, you know, how do you get that kind of experience that you can use to help make better decisions on the people that you work with, while also making the best representation upon yourself? And something like Toastmasters might actually be a perfect opportunity for you. In fact, I think I might do a separate video entirely just on Toastmasters because this organization is designed around mastering your networking skills and also mastering your speech abilities. What it essentially is a worldwide organization that has put together these networking meeting events that has a framework of courses and furthering education to make you be the best representation of yourself when you're going out to different meetings and you're going out to different events. This way, it helps refine those abilities. And then, even if you take these skills and use it in your day-to-day life, whether you're helping out with a local charity, whether or not you're speaking with your girlfriend or boyfriend about these, about whatever, you can use all these different kind of skills that you get from like an organization like Toastmasters. It has speeches, but then you also meet people. But then it also has opportunities to like work on negotiation. There's all sorts of little things like that with it. And like I said, it is international. So if you live in Florida, California, Texas, Minnesota, Canada, Mexico, you probably can find a branch that you can register with and check it out for yourself. So I wanted to take a look at what's going on in X or Twitter about just networking with people. And I really like this picture over here because this helps show what I wanted to get with my original, more deeper, more interpersonal query. And so when you are just going to networking events specifically to get like a new job, you might feel like the one on the left over here, where you go to these events and you just feel like you're a bit of an outcast or you're not really getting any success. And it is probably because it is probably because you're going with the intention of just finding a job. And unless you've really mastered your skills and your presentation skills and have learned how to differentiate yourself between the potential competition, then you're going to feel like that. Also, it needs to be the right event as well. So if it is a job fair, then that's fine. But if you're going to like an open party where a business is hosting an event and you're just there trying to network to get your first steps inside of that industry, if you come with that intention, then you're just going to look like, you know, the thousands of other people who are looking for a job. But if you go over to the right a little bit here, if you go in with the intention to really do something deeper and more interpersonal, then what you might then you might pick up on is something more deeper. So you might be able to build a deeper relationship. So you can get your investor, or you can get or you can find a mentor, or you might even find a friend out of the people that you meet, and you might be able to build a connection, and then who knows, start your own company. Maybe the people that you meet are into the same kind of hobbies that you're into. So like if you're really into pickleball or soccer or something like that, you might be able to build a relationship that way, and then 3 years later you might have that opportunity, or another opportunity might come up to build a business, or something like that, with the people that you meet. But really, you're trying to go a little bit deeper. And I guess there's a balance in between the goals that you had going into the networking event, but then also just listening to what the people around you are saying, and trying to figure out how it relates to you, and how you can add value to it. Networking is a waste of time. Do big things and you attract big people. That's okay, but I think that doesn't quite work. It reminds me of that saying, if a tree falls in the woods, does anybody hear it? And so, you can build an amazing thing, but if nobody knows that you're around, then they won't know where to go. In fact, they'll be distracted by something else. In fact, that's basically what marketing is all about. Is you're that you might have a product or a service that can help, but if you're not able to get the word out, then people aren't going to be able to find your product. Let's see. So this is actually probably a good example of bots on X here. I see networking is underrated. You can become rich just by hanging around the right people. And then same over here. Networking is so crazy. You can literally change your entire life by meeting the right people. So that's kind of like actually my original post here, my original picture. So maybe it's not bots and just people trying to get attention on their posts. So, anyways, another thing, so I'll wrap this up pretty soon, but what I also wanted to just focus on was, there are websites like meetup.com with a whole lot of different opportunities, like, networking fundamentals, learn a little bit more about networking, entrepreneurship and small business owners, networking. There seems to be some apps, social co-working, collective, crypto, all sorts of different events. So if you have a particular interest, there is probably a networking event for you. And sometimes it might be worthwhile to go to one that you're not very interested in, because again, you might not know who you might meet in one of these, but you might find something that surprises you about it. Like maybe if I were to go to this blockchain networking event, there might be something about the crypto network that really captures my attention, or maybe this pottery workshop. You might find working with your hands really connects with you in a different kind of way, and it allows you to drop your guard, so then you can have a more interpersonal connected relationship with the other people that are there. And then the nice thing is if you learn how to drop your guard, then you can use that skill at your next networking event, and then so you can come across more authentic. Florida networking events. That's something that you can put into a search engine like Google, and then it'll come up with a lot of different potential opportunities. And here's another one which kind of catches my attention. Wood Pro Expo Florida Closet Conference sets a new attendance record. working with wood. Another thing that can put your mind at ease while also giving you another opportunity to meet someone who may surprise you and teach you more about yourself. And then just I'll look at networking here. Throughout the time, it does look like it does look like it goes through some cycles. So in December here, the networking does seem to drop quite a bit. And then in June and August, it does seem to drop more. But then in the summertime and maybe a little bit in the fall here, it does seem to rise up quite a bit. And then it does look like a lot of people are looking into networking opportunities in the southern states. So that's quite interesting. And then a little bit just here by North Dakota and South Dakota. So I'm not too surprised about that. A lot of people are going to Florida and Texas these days. So that looks like where all the action is happening. And yeah. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this and I hope you have a good day.